This maid, while cleaning, accidentally broke her master's expensive porcelain. However, after a brief moment of panic, she didn't think about what to do, but instead did something incredibly insane. She luxuriously laid down on her master's comfortable bed, then put on the mistress's high-end clothes, making herself look radiant and beautiful, then burned her own shabby old clothes. She also took one of the master's filet steaks, got a bottle of 1982 Lafite, and made herself a sumptuous feast to enjoy. Since she couldn't afford to pay for the expensive porcelain, why not enjoy herself before being discovered? Fortunately, the manor's owners were traveling abroad and wouldn't return anytime soon, so she let herself go even more, completely redecorating the rooms according to her own preferences. There were photos of the owners on the table. She took the photos out of the frames and tore them up, as if she were the manor's true owner. This is a movie adapted from a true event. The twist at the end left all viewers deep in thought. Taylor stayed at the manor as usual. However, an accident occurred. The doorbell rang outside. Taylor went to answer the door with an anxious heart. Fortunately, it was just a young passerby. He wanted a local map. After hearing this, Taylor initially wanted to send him away, but then saw his wife with a big belly, so she kindly took Mike to get the map. Unfortunately, the pregnant woman suddenly went into labor. Taylor helped her into the house. Using her midwifery experience, she helped Lisa successfully deliver a baby boy. However, the moment she saw the baby, Taylor decided to let this family stay at her manor, because she had been childless her whole life. Living alone in this big manor was just too lonely. That evening, Taylor let Mike's family stay. Mike and Lisa were homeless anyway, so they gladly agreed to Taylor's proposal. In the following days, they lived comfortably and freely. Mike handled some physical work around the manor. Lisa only needed to rest well, every day choosing different dresses to dress herself up, while Taylor enjoyed family happiness, taking care of the baby like a grandmother. In the evenings, they sat around the dining table sharing grand meals, enjoying life without burdens. They were harmonious like 3 generations of a family. Until one day, Taylor's secret was discovered. A car drove into the manor. Taylor's expression suddenly became very panicked. She told everyone to keep quiet, then hurriedly went out alone. Seeing it was a garden maintenance worker, Taylor had him leave his tools, then paid him a large sum, telling him he didn't need to come anymore, instead giving this job to Mike. Mike just thought it was strange. With such a huge manor, was it necessary to save this small amount of money? But next, he discovered that the luxury car parked in the garage had an empty gas tank. When Mike told Taylor they needed to fill up, Taylor seemed very troubled. What made her even more anxious was the household supplies were running low. She had underestimated the daily consumption of 4 people. Lisa told Taylor this way.
Well, we should get some more then. I'm feeding 2 of us.
Not as simple as that.
I'd go if someone would give me some money, but I've got Matthew.
Steph, you just don't understand.
No, Jean, I don't think you understand.
I'm not made of money.
Making matters worse, Mike said the heating bill also needed to be paid. The huge expenses were suffocating Taylor. She turned around, secretly wiping away tears. Fortunately, Mike noticed her predicament, so he asked if the manor really belonged to her. Taylor had to tell the truth. She thought Mike would abandon the mess and leave, but unexpectedly, Mike was willing to help her solve the expense problem and stay to continue being a family. Mike mimicked the homeowner's voice through phone messages, then called to have supplies delivered to the manor, to be settled when the homeowner returned. Having solved the material problem, everyone was very happy. When they needed money again, Mike would load a truck with valuable furniture and take it to a familiar antique shop to sell. After all, the same trick couldn't be used too often, otherwise there would be risk of exposure. But there are no walls that don't let wind through. This day, a message came through the phone from Taylor's real estate supervisor, saying they would come to inspect the manor soon. After Taylor found out, she immediately panicked and notified the couple. Everyone quickly restored the rooms to their original state. Soon, the agent arrived. Taylor thought she could get away with it, but the agent had been to the manor before and was very familiar with everything inside. Sure enough, the agent noticed something was wrong as soon as she entered, because there used to be a painting hanging in this spot. In the time it took to turn around, the agent also discovered several stools were missing from the table. Taylor made excuses saying they weren't there when she arrived, but the other party obviously didn't believe her. She took out an inventory list to check. At this point, Taylor felt her palms sweating. To stop the agent from continuing the inspection, Taylor insisted on making her a cup of coffee, leading the agent into the kitchen. But after discovering things were also missing from the kitchen, the agent immediately stared at Taylor seriously. Just when they were about to be exposed, Taylor had to make up an excuse.
It's all rather difficult. There are other people here. Mr. Standish Cave's cousin. I couldn't really say no.
Jean, Oh, hello.
Mike from next door immediately walked in, greeting the agent as the homeowner's cousin. The agent believed it. Mike explained to the agent that he didn't really like the room's arrangement, so he took it upon himself to change it. This dispelled the agent's suspicions about Taylor. After dinner, the agent finally left, but before the two could celebrate for long, a tragedy occurred that almost exposed their occupation of the manor. Lisa's son Matthew died. Perhaps Matthew was unhealthy from birth and lacked timely treatment. With heavy hearts, they buried Matthew in the garden. To ease the pain of losing her child, Lisa applied for a nanny job, helping a single mother take care of her child. While the woman was at work, she brought the child back to the manor. She also named this child Matthew. However, when Mike and Taylor found out, they didn't stop Lisa's crazy behavior. Instead, they happily took photos together and took the child on picnics, because only this way could they return to a happy life. No one wanted to break this balance. Later, Lisa returned the child. The child's mother knew Lisa would take her son to the manor and didn't think much of it. Until this day, the child's grandfather also came to the manor to see his grandson. Mike panicked as soon as he saw him. The man also recognized Mike. It turned out Mike was a thief. Mike had once stolen from him. The old man was immediately furious. He took out his phone to call the police. Once the police came, everyone's secrets would be exposed. Mike begged the old man not to call the police, but the old man attacked directly. Mike struck back in anger, but accidentally killed him. Afterwards, Mike was extremely remorseful, but Taylor didn't blame him for his mistake. Instead, she thanked him for protecting everyone's shared secret. The three of them disposed of the body together, burned the old man's clothes. Mike drove the old man's car to another town. Later, Lisa learned from the old man's daughter-in-law that the old man was listed as missing by police. Mike wasn't suspected for the time being. The family finally returned to their leisurely life. However, soon after, Taylor received notification from the agent that the homeowner would return in a few days. Their beautiful life was about to end, but because Taylor couldn't bear the consequences of being discovered by the homeowner, she told Mike she would make a poison cake to welcome the homeowner, then tell the agent the homeowner had emigrated, so they could continue staying at the manor. Mike was shocked after hearing this. He suggested leaving before the homeowner returned. However, Taylor told Mike this wasn't realistic because the homeowner would call the police, and the police would connect it to the old man's disappearance. Then the truth would come out. No one could escape. Taylor told Mike to think it over carefully. Afterwards, Mike told Lisa about the plan. However, Lisa firmly opposed it, so Mike approached Taylor again, saying he couldn't accept this plan. But unexpectedly, Taylor had also changed her mind, saying she had proposed it impulsively. After all, these were two living human lives. She wasn't that cruel, Taylor said. Now the safest approach was for everyone to flee abroad together. Mike was very happy to hear this. He hurriedly told Lisa about it. They would continue their new life as a family of four. Lisa was also satisfied with this plan. That night they began packing. Taylor first put Matthew in the crib to rest, then made a sumptuous dinner to celebrate this move. The next day, the homeowner returned, but what he saw was a chaotic dining table and 3 cold corpses.
Walden Manor is ours. We belong here. And now, no one will be able to take it away from us.